we are going to be going through on the investments today. If you do have any questions, please utilize the chat. So I'm the host, so I'm going to be talking quite a bit, but Reta, she is my co-host, and she is going to be also responding there on the chat. Me and her are married to the hip. What I know is what she knows, and what she knows, I know. So we should be able to get through to everything else. Okay, good stuff. You can see all my presentation from wherever you're sitting. Is that correct? Can you see my screen there, Reta? My presentation coming
I
up?
can see your screen. Yes, I see your background, I think. Is that your
Okay,
new
let's
house
get
there?
there. Haha. Okay,
This
there
is
we
something
go.
you didn't tell me.
We're getting there. That's the new house. Once we close that
Ah,
up, that's the new house. All right, all right. Okay, good stuff. So for some of you, you don't know who we are. We are Empire Property Addicts. Rita and I, we started this business a couple of years ago, and we've been grinding on. And we started off with literally just a two-bed, one bath, and thus the journey has grown there to where it is today. And where are we today? Basically, we are in 5 cities: Johannesburg, Durban, Cape Town, Pretoria, Potchefstroom. That was 5 towns, right? I think it was. And we are now also a fund. So we are now called the Empire Property Addict Fund. What does that mean? It basically means that we are registered with the FSB. So we are just like a bank as well. We have the license of managing other people's money. That is our license there, the bottom there. But I just want to stress the fact that, when Rita and I started this business, it wasn't about winning awards. Back in the days of 2019, I got to win an award, and that was Investor of the Year. But that didn't come from nowhere. It came out of working, it came out of sweat, it came out of looking for opportunities and closing them. And I also wrote a book that is called From Bad Debt to Property Mogul. If you have read the book, let me know what was your thinking around the book. And if you'd like to get the book, you can get it there on the website. It's available free of charge to you. Over and above that, I also just want to stress out, you can never do this alone. If you go alone, you are going to fail. So I do have a successful team, and this successful team is where I belong. And Rita, you want to say hellos to everyone formally. Rita, she looks after, she's the big money, so she looks after all of our monies, and she's our CFO.
yeah, so I'm the evil person that says, you can't buy that. But they all just have to be nice to me. They don't have a choice. Because
Amazing
I'm
stuff.
the person that makes sure that everybody, um, that the budget are being followed and that there's accountability for everything. Because with great responsibility, or with our compliance and all of that, there's great responsibility that comes with that. So that is me. They love me and they hate me all at the same time.
Awesome stuff. So we've got Hubert, he looks after all of our developments. Dan, he looks after special projects. Elize, she's our legal attorney. So she looks after all of our contracts. I just want to be straight up to you, right? There's people in the room, around about close to about 30, 40 people in this room here. And there's other people that are sitting on Facebook, wherever you are sitting. I just want to be very clear upfront with you. We are talking about investments. It is my mission that by the end of this presentation, each one and every one of you would have at least going to invest with us for nothing less of 100,000. So I'm expecting 100,000 from you. And if I am not giving you enough content in here for you to be convinced that this is a good investment, I would like you to ask the questions now so that we can get you in. There is opportunities. We are solving problems. There's a national problem that we are solving, but I'm just going to jump into it. But this is the team that helps us to get us there. Right. Now, back in about 2018, Rita and I, we had the privilege of spending time with Robert Kiyosaki for around about 10 days. And there's about two things that he was talking about to say that we should always be investing, actually five. And of the five, he said, always invest in ground. And the question was like, why ground? Ground always appreciates. And that's why most of our businesses, it's centered in and around property. So we are after the ground because it's always appreciating. The second thing that it speaks of is that invest in minerals, gold, right? So of the 5 Gs that he speaks about, go and read that book there that says fake, and you'll be able to understand what are some of the other 3 Gs that he was talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start introducing to you some concepts. This is not just concept theoretically, this is what is happening in our communities as we speak today. I'm going to share with you 3 unfair advantage windows that we are seeing, and where we are seeing opportunities, and this is where we want you to come in and invest. I was upfront to you that by the end of the session here, I would like you to invest nothing less of 100,000 on what we are doing. Now, the first unfair advantage that I'm going to be talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is that the fact that if we are to look at where we are right now with the COVID, right? So COVID came in as a pandemic. COVID came in and it disrupted everything else that we know. Our lifestyles, our living, we are now all just walking around with masks. It is now the reality of life. But it has had a bigger impact on something else, on jobs. We all know people have lost jobs. We all know tenants have lost, some tenants, they're not even able to pay up for their rent. What is happening to the landlords? In reality, some landlords right now, they are selling off their properties at an unreasonable price, right? What do I mean by unreasonable price? I mean, they're going in at a very cheap rate than normal. This is the time for us to be going out and buying all these properties. Why is it good for us to be buying properties? Look, if you had to look into the history of time, in 2000, this happened. It wasn't a pandemic at that time, but the economy dipped. In 2008, the economy dipped again. What happened? Properties were being sold for a cheaper rate at that time. And as and when the market goes up, so is your property value goes up. So it's like you're spending R1 today, but tomorrow, the same R1 on the same product that you've bought it for, it will be on a R10. Who would want to do that? It's a good investment. Now, whilst I'm talking about this, I also want to speak to you guys on another unfair advantage window. This has come and gone. This has come back again. What is this? If you had to read on what has happened, so I literally pulled this off the internet. You guys, you can go through on the internet and you can literally go and read this report. This is going to affect you and me right here in South Africa. This is a food security report. What is it saying? It is saying that at the moment, we are in a crisis in terms of food. Yes, you're going to Woolies, you are able to see food there. You're going to Checkers, you're able to see things there. But if you are to really look at the food that is in there, a lot of it is imports. And this is one of the challenges that we are faced with, food security. At the moment, right now, we are in April. We are already hovering in what they're calling the phase 3, where an odd 8 to 9 million people are in a crisis of finding basic food. So how best can we help here? Me and you, we can help. We have the solution. I need your money to be going through and solve this solution. We cannot solve the country's population, but we can do our bit into solving it. Another unfair advantage window. This is a crisis. If you have not seen any articles around student accommodation, I don't know where you've been living. Just go and Google it. You will see that there is a huge shortage for student accommodation. There are some other universities right now that are being opened, and the university themselves haven't catered for the number of students that are going to come and learn. So where are they going to stay? Are they going to do online learning? Not necessarily so. There are some students who need to at a particular place for them to be learning. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have been listening carefully, you will see that here there's round about three big problems, three crises. Actually, maybe let's call it four. The economy is on the down, the bank is giving out cheaper money, and we also have a food crisis that where you and I can help in. Then we have a student accommodation crisis, again, where you and I can help. So what did we do at M5 Property Addicts? We literally said, hey, we think we know where we can find opportunities, but let's actually make it our duty to create opportunities in business and in property for everyday people to invest and own. And who are these everyday people? My friend, it is you. I need you to invest with us. I need you to come in and partner with us. How are you going to do this? In our fund? So we are now registered in what is called a Section 12J. And for some of you, this might be a new term for you, so you don't even know what is a Section 12J. Let me explain it to you. Well, in 2009 and in 2015, the Minister of Finance at that particular time, they instituted a vehicle for investments, which is called Section 12J. It is meant for people who are living in South Africa, who are here in South Africa, or potentially living even overseas. But if they are to invest in a Section 12J, what basically happens is that from a SARS perspective, SARS is going to give you what is called a rebate. What is a rebate? You get money for free from SARS, right? But let me simplify it. If you are to invest in a Section 12J, and ladies and gentlemen, we are not the only Section 12J company. There is so many Section 12J companies out there. But the model of operandi of a Section 12J is you as the individual will invest in a Section 12J like ours. What are we going to do? We're going to take that money and then we're going to put it into M5 Property Addicts. We are going to buy properties, but what do you get in return? You get a share certificate and a tax certificate. Your share certificate is your ownership to indicate that you have invested in a Section 12J. Your tax certificate is what you are going to be taking to SARS to make a rebate. So on this rebate, what we are talking about, it is 100% tax deductible. What does that mean? If your tax bracket is sitting at 30%, you will be able to be given a rebate of 30%. If your tax bracket is 45%, you will be given a rebate of 45%. And simply put, this 45%, you will get it in what we call year number one. Okay? So you invest today. Next year, when you put in all of your tax paperwork in, SARS is going to give you 45% of your money. I think that's a good investment already as we are speaking right now, because you're getting 45% on your money. But hold on, you are still going to be getting your investment growth on the asset itself. So that's the first benefit. But the second benefit is obviously the investment that's going to grow over a period of 5 years. But hold on. Ratito Mboweni, he then came back not so long ago and he said, well, we're not continuing with the Section 12J. So we need to close them. So what does that mean for you and me? It basically means that we have a limited opportunity where we can actually now invest in a Section 12J. It is between now and June 2021. Why June 2021? Well, this is the time when the legislation that has been passed from the previous year ends. So at this time, as we know it, the Section 12J benefits, they are still applicable up until June 2021, and then thereafter, it is no more. What happens to the fund? The fund will still continue, it will still exist, and over and above that, you will still be able to end the process from there. Right, if I am to combine, ladies and gentlemen, the the student accommodation, and I combine that with investing in a Section 12J where your money comes through and it sits. Like I did say, I want a minimum of 100,000 coming through from you for us to be going into this fund and to be able to go in and buy some assets, businesses that the fund can work and then it can pay you back over a period of time. That is what they call passive income. You go through, you buy, you invest something, and out of that, you just reap the benefit. Now, who is M5 really meant for? It is meant for people that understand that they are putting money into a fund. It is meant for people that know that this portfolio that we are investing is going to grow. It is for people who understand that there's a tax benefit. So if you're unemployed and you want to go through into the Section 12J, it doesn't really apply to you because there is no tax benefit today. But there could be another vehicle that can help you to propel, or should I say, to make your money work harder for you. I hope this is making sense. If it is not making sense and you've got a question, I urge you to go into the comments in there, type in your comment and ask the questions, and Rita will be able to answer that. Whilst I go along, I just want to educate you a little bit. Some people, they don't know the flow of money. And this is the flow of money. Now, when you save your money at the bank, so all of us, we have our deposits account, we have our savings account, we have some investments amount, and we are actually known with the bank as investors. All your money is going to sit there and it goes through to the banks, and guess what's going to happen? When M5, a company like M5 goes through to apply for a loan for all of our buildings throughout the country, we are going to utilize that money. So here you've got the middle person, and the middleman is the bank, right? And for that reason, all of your money is sitting there. You get your best service, you get your best interest rate. I don't know whether it is best. Have you checked recently what is your interest on a deposit account or savings account or whatever investment that you actually have? I don't know if you have checked actually, but we trust these banks. Well, I want to come through and say something to you. You can get rid of the middlemen. You can get rid of the banks. Your savings monies that you're putting there, instead of it going to a bank or whilst it's supposed to be sitting at the bank, you can take that money directly into M5 Property Addicts into the fund. We are regulated with the same FSB board, but your money is not going to be getting a 1-digit interest rate. You're going to be getting a double digit from us. What do I mean by that? I think, actually, no, let me just leave it here. Go and check how much you're going to be getting at the bank on your money. And I am promising you that on our fund, nothing less of 14%. That's the double digits that I'm talking about. So if you want to leave your money where it is trusted, that's okay too. We are still going to use it anyway. It will come through to us one way or the other. So who do you want to get rich? Do you want the bank to be rich, or do you want you and I to be rich? Food for thought. I would leave it there. But here is one guy who literally just stopped his monies from the bank, and he put in the money in the fund, and now the fund is working for him, and this is what he had to say.
So Hesho, you've been investing with us.
Yeah.
What made you take the leap of faith to invest with us?
So TJ, I think for me it was the fact that I've been following you for some time. We've through the same education system, proper investment, and I've seen what you've done. And I think for me it was sort of an easy decision to invest with you and to build a partnership with you, to create a legacy for ourselves and our family, and creating accommodation for people.
Cool.
Yep.
To many more.
Like,
Thank you.
That picture there, was literally taken, or should I say that video was literally taken when we were actually at what we call show and tell. And basically what a show and tell is whenever we have bought a property, you come through and then you see what we have bought and you can feel, you can touch it, you can hug it. Some of you have invested with the banks. I don't know where you have invested. You put your money at Bank X and they say they've invested it. I'm not so sure whether you know. With us, you know where your money is at a particular bank, at a particular property. Now, I just want to go in terms of what do we actually invest in? Because I'm talking about investing, but what do we invest in? So as a fund, there is things that we can and cannot invest in, but I'm going to go through into some of the things that we can invest in. So we started off back in the days, investing in properties like this one. On a 2-bed, 1-bath, we would buy these properties for like 160,000 and we'll renovate them for 50,000. And on this particular one, we sold this property, but we don't sell anything these days. We keep everything in the fund. But we don't buy such kind of properties anymore because this is now too small for us, right? We go and buy properties like these ones, a mixed use building like this one that we bought. We recently bought this property out in an area called Florida. Our office is actually, our headquarters is actually based here. For some of you who would want to come and see us, you will see this office. And Rita is going to put in a link where you can actually be able to see some of the people that invested, but not actually seeing the people. See the building that we have invested in. This is where your money would go to places like this ones if you have to invest it with us. We also do what is called student accommodation. This is an example of a student accommodation that we bought and we turned this. So it is a house. We bought one house for 1.2 and we bought another one for 1.5. The challenge with houses, or should I say the challenges, or why we are buying houses with our student accommodation, our happy place would be to buy a building like this one. But where the universities are situated, it's either you actually need to develop, but remember, the crisis is now. So what are we doing? We are buying houses in and around those neighborhoods, and we are turning them into student accommodation. So for instance, this one, these two here, we bought 2 properties next to each other. The one is for 1.2, the one is 1.5, and we're literally collecting around about 127 on a monthly basis because of the number of students that are in that particular place. Right. The third one, and this is, so if you have to look at this option here, I did indicate to you that there is a crisis. But within our own little way, we have solved for 43 beds. It's no longer thousands, but we've just solved 43 students. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to indicate to you that at this present moment, by the time we actually get to, I think, round about winter, we are going to be managing in our own buildings, properties that we own between Cape Town and Potchefstroom, I think a very good, just above 350 students that we are going to be managing. So if the problem is in thousands and we have solved this particular number, with your money coming into the fund, we can be able to even triple or quadruple those numbers of students that we will be able to save. The other crisis that we spoke about earlier on is the food shortage. It is here. Well, you might want to disagree with me, but that was an expert report that we got. I want to stress the fact that, as you can see, this is a farm. It is called an aquaponics farm. An aquaponics farm is basically on one side of the farm, you are fishing, you are farming fish, and on the other side of it, you are farming everyday vegetables. So for instance, what you're seeing here, this is all lettuce. So you can do lettuce, you can do cucumber, you can do spinach, you can do a wider array of vegetables, and all of them, they'll be growing above water. So where you're seeing the lettuce here, there is no ground underneath. It's all water, right, underneath it. And that's modern farming. And this is what we are going to be doing in the aquaponics. And for your money, when we are talking about we are investing in farms, this is what we are investing. It is the infrastructure that you can see on top there. It is the ponds that you can see. For some of you who are going to be investing with us, we are going to have what is called a show and tell on some of these farms so that you can be able to see and touch and actually maybe go home with some of these groceries that we are seeing here. So how do you get involved, right? So I've spoken about the problem. There is a problem, but you and I, we can solve it. We know how to solve it. We are experts in it. We have won awards around this, and we've been doing it for a while. Now, how do you get involved? I did put a disclaimer in the beginning. I want each and every one of you to be putting in nothing less of 100,000. I want you to be getting the good return that all of my other investors are getting. So, number one, we've got what we call the 1 year investment. It's a no strings attached. You invest for 1 year and you get your 100, you get your, for every 100,000 that you're investing with us, there is a 14% per year. So which means that your money is growing 14%. And that money gets distributed to you on a monthly basis at 1,166. Hey, TJ, what if it is 400? Well, that equation there times 4. What if it's 1 million? Well, that equation times 10. Make sense? Awesome stuff. Your capital is guaranteed at the end of the contract. So if you are wanting to go ahead, maybe after a year, you want to withdraw all of your money, most welcome. If you want to reinvest, most welcome. This is why the fund is there. We want to fuel in here. The second,
I want to, before you go on, TJ, I'm going to tell you a little something that I haven't mentioned before. So this is going to, but now in April, I just did the count today. We paid 291 investors that are on this specific product.
Amazing. So this is what really gets me excited. This is like people, everyday people that are coming through to invest on these options, close to 300. They've come through, they've trusted us with their money, and they've enjoyed their proceeds. People like Esho, he's a doctor. He can't do what I do, but he partners up with us, knowing that we can do what he cannot do, and we are providing value, creating more money on his money. Now, the second option, it's a minimum 3-year investment. So we call this one the Trust Investment Fund. So basically, for again, on your minimum of 100,000, that money comes in, it sits in the trust, you become a beneficiary in it, and out of it, we go and buy properties. And when we buy these properties, this is how we are going to grow that property, that portfolio. So we'll buy the properties cash and we do what is called refinancing. Refinancing just basically means you buy a property cash. After a few months, you finance it, you take the money that you got in as cash, go and buy the second property. And you continue with that cycle. So all you're doing is you're growing a portfolio. That's what you're doing. Within this trust fund here that I'm talking about, the Trust Investment Fund, we have already bought 2 properties. So this fund started off sometime last year in winter, and we started fundraising just before summer. And we have now got 2 properties. The one property is that one there that you are looking at the top. And that's the one which we are calling mixed use. There's about 30 units in there. And at the bottom, it is a student accommodation, right? And we've been chasing a minimum of 14% on the guarantees, right? That's what we're chasing for on the returns. However, on these 2 properties, when we bought them, we had already superseded our returns that we were targeting on. So particularly this particular project here that we're talking about, this is a mixed use building, 30 units all in all. And we literally bought this property here for around about 11 million. And if you have to look at it, it's been valued at 16 million. So it basically tells you that we have, by just buying this property, we bought ourselves some profit up front. This is what happens when you are working with experienced investors. This is what happens when you are working with people that are winning awards. We're not winning awards for free. No, we're not. We know what we are doing. We're praying for these deals like these ones. A deal like this one can take us a month, can take us about 2 years looking at it, crafting it, and things like that. By the time it comes through, it's a good deal that is going to make money for all of us. This is the student accommodation that I'm talking about. It is fully let. Rita, you want to give in some words in here? You manage all of our student accommodation, irrespective of being in Port or in Cape Town. Apparently, you are now a cell phone. They're Mobipreneur, maybe that's what you are. You're remote. You're managing everything on your phone there. Eh?
Yeah, it feels. Oh, is there a word for that now? Okay, didn't know, but yes, if there's a word for it, that's me. Yeah, so very exciting. This project we bought with the fund. We bought it cash in November last year. All of the transfer went through on the 27th of January this year, and we had to scramble and get ready very, very quickly for the students that that had to come in, as we were already getting calls and bookings and people going onto the waiting list from early January already. So we quickly rushed, we added an extra shower, we did some basic renovations, and we were ready. Our first student was in middle of February, and we fully let, 100% fully let in this property. Now I just hear complaints about students not washing dishes and not cleaning up, which is normal. You can expect that. So everything is running smoothly there. Our house father has been appointed, and yeah, it's going on. The purchase price was below, it was 2.6 million, and then with the furniture and transfer fees and everything else, it came to just over 3 million. Our monthly rental is about 100,000 a month, and therefore our returns is around about 20% for the year on this specific property. Then obviously now we want to get that cash out so that we can reinvest it and buy another one like this, right? So if we go, and we're in that process now, we're busy getting a formal valuation from a commercial valuation company, and this property is estimated to be valued at 4 million. If the bank, so we can get a commercial loan from Standard Bank at 80%, which means that they will give us just over 3 million for this property. So wow, now we get our 3 million plus probably another 100, 200,000 out. The property will still make money. I mean, you do the numbers, right? On a 4 million rand loan, even if it was a full 4 million, what are you going to pay? You're going to pay, what, maybe 40,000, you know, when it was still 10%, and our rental income is 100,000. So we're still making a positive cash flow every month so that we can pay people their dividends, but we can take that cash out and we can actually go and buy another one, and literally just hopefully we can start snowballing, and we can buy more than one at a time. That's the whole idea. But at this stage, we can do this every single year. Just buy one more, and continue growing the fund like that. And it's a process. It takes time. Property is not a get rich quick scheme. Sorry, doesn't work that way. But it's a snowball effect. And as you go along, and as you grow these properties, the income grows, your equity grows, and the whole fund just starts to go bigger and bigger every single year.
Awesome stuff, Rita. I'm really glad that you have positioned this, because I think for a lot of time when I'm speaking to people and things like that, I find that in some cases people are actually not understanding the concept of how actually the portfolio can grow. So very grateful that you was able to go through and talk about that. All right. Now ladies and gentlemen, I am going to go through again into the slide, and I want to speak now on in terms of, we spoke about the 1 year, we spoke about the 3 year, minimum 3 years investment. And this one here, which is the section 12J, is the minimum 5 years, right? What happens in here? So you join the section 12J. So there is an application form that you need to send through to us, and you invest. This one in particular, there is a minimum of 50,000, right? So I did say that I would like at least a minimum of 100,000 from you. Yes, I did say that, but there is a 50,000 here. That's the minimum entry into a section 12J, but it doesn't mean that I don't want your 100,000. I do want your 100,000 because I want to go to work with it, okay? And out of that, there is a tax rebate that's going to come through, and we are going to go to work buying the properties, and we will manage those properties for you. Let's put it in simple terms. If you are, let's say 100,000, what's going to happen? SARS is going to give you the 45%, right? If your tax bracket is 45%. So in other words, they are going to give you whatever your tax bracket is. So if your tax bracket is 30, they're going to give you 30. We're going to take that, and then we're going to make sure that for the whole view of the 5-year view, how much is your return? And we are saying that the return is up to 17%, but obviously there will be an impact in terms of what is your tax bracket. The lower your tax bracket, the lower your return is going to be. The higher your tax bracket, the higher the tax return that you're going to be. No tax bracket, the fund doesn't really work for you. Then you would want to go into the other products that we do have. So simply put, for individuals and people that own a trust and the trust wants to invest, it basically means that it's a 17% per annum, okay? Now, I want to be very clear here, right? We did say that SARS is going to give you 45%. Yes, that's benefit number one. Benefit number two is that as the properties grow, or as we manage the properties for the next 5 years, you will be able to earn up to 17%. And that basically means that that's within the 5-year horizon. So per annum, you will be earning up to 17%. If you're a business, you own a business, and you are expecting to be paying higher interest, higher taxes, you are looking at up to 13% per annum. That would be your benefit there from a section 12J. Now, what's the next step? The next step is that there is an application form that you need to fill in, right? So we're not going to go ahead and invest with everybody. There are some people that we're going to say yes to, and some people we're going to say no to, because we want you to know that this journey here is a long time journey. That's number one. Number two, you need to be able to understand what property is all about. For some of you, we're going to ask you to go to do some things before we take your money. So this is for people that understand what property is all about. Once your application has been approved, you receive a phone call. And from there, you can then be able to receive all the other agreements. From the time you receive agreements, then you can be able to pay after the agreements have been done. This is one project that we are actually funding for at this moment. So a minimum of 10 million. So if you're sitting on 5 million or 2 million, we want your money now. I would like you to invest with us so that we can go and do this work. I'd like to invest with us so that your money is not dead. It's dying right now at the bank. If you look at the inflation rate and what you're being given at the bank, I don't know. We've already secured a few farms that some of them we own already. And one farm, we need about 5 million for us to get it done. So we have around about 3 of them. I need your money for us to be able to go to work here. Well, it's time for
TJ, sorry, can I add one thing about this this farming thing? You know, when people talk about farming, then my mind is like, yeah, that's this piece of land somewhere out there in the Free State, you know. So so it's important that, you know, people understand that this is the type of things that gets done on the roof of malls in Sandton. We don't have to do it in a farm in the Free State. This is organic vegetables that gets bought by Woolworths, right? This is that type of food, because you cannot put poison, you cannot put chemicals on these plants, otherwise your fish will die. So it is literally what they call that's what that certified by nature means. And you can literally have it on a roof somewhere. The people from the mall can come up and buy the food, the vegetables in your rooftop garden or whatever. For the guys that stay in Centurion, we've got a piece of land where we can create something very similar to the Irene dairy farm, but with vegetables, just to put some ideas in your head as to where we already have those pieces of land available and where we can take this food security from. There's contracts that's been secured with the people, all your retailers that's willing to buy these vegetables. So it's not like we're just going in there without these contracts. We already have that in place. So it's literally just, let's get the money, put the infrastructure in, get the plants, and we sort it.
100%. So this is actually something of passion, actually, because it doesn't only just stop at investment. We're talking about food challenges in the country. You saw the numbers, right? Okay, fine, you're going to buy your food at Woolies, but how about contributing to that, towards that as well, right? Number two, for every farm that we're going to be creating, for every farm that we've got a minimum of 10 jobs that we're creating there. That's a big impact. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, in Africa, one job that you've created, you're impacting around about 10 people with that one salary. That's the impact that we are doing here. And you and I, we can be able to go and do this. And that's why I am not ashamed to be asking you of your minimum of 100,000 so that we can go to work here. We have the IP, we can do it. We've been doing it. So what are we waiting for? Let's go. Right. Now, we need to make a decision. Or should I say, you need to make a decision. And the decision is simple. You need to choose one of the three. Are you going to be with us for a minimum of 1 year investment so that your money can be on 8%, on 14%? Or are you going to be on a 3-year investment trust? And basically on a 3-year trust, we can't really actually measure. That's what's called infinity returns, because your money is continuously going in cycles, right? Or you're going to be going with us on the Section 12J, which is a minimum of Section 12J, which is a minimum of 5 years. But the returns that we're talking about on Section 12J is up to 17%. But hey, maybe you actually want to leave your money where it is. I went online the other day, and actually not the other day, recently, and I checked out the Black Bank that doesn't have a branch anywhere else. And they're saying that you can get a powerful Go Saver savings tool and earn up to 7%. It's okay if you don't want to invest with me, it's no hard feelings, but the reality is that we're still going to get that money, right? So that's the reality. Another point is that maybe you're with, how can we help you? It's all right. I checked on their fixed deposit, and they're saying a maximum of 8%. I'm saying to you 14%, no any other fees associated with it. That money hits your bank account on the 10th of each month. You make the decision. But if you want to keep the middleman, that's fine. We'll still get the money anyway. But if you decide to put off the middleman, we can make some good money for you. We can make that money grow for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to jump into another meeting now, but I want to leave you with people that have literally now kicked off. They've taken their money where it's been sitting in the banks, and they now brought that money to us, and we are making that money work. So before I go, I want to say thank you for being here with us.
And sorry, can I add one more thing? I talk a lot tonight. I also want to add that, a lot of people have Bitcoin these days, and they have put their money in Bitcoin. So that's almost a form of bank as well, right? So it's cash that's
Right.
sitting there in the cloud. But there is a way that you can leverage your Bitcoin without selling it, because people are going to say, but my Bitcoin, it grows by 3% per day. Why must I take it out for 14% per year? It's not worth it. But there is
Sure.
a way that you can keep your Bitcoin. You don't have to sell it, and you can get the cash out from there. You can invest, earn rent, and still earn growth from your Bitcoin investment. So if you want to know how that works and you're interested in that, please also complete the form, and I will gladly explain to you how that works.
Awesome stuff. Right. So I am going to leave you guys, and thanks again, and we'll see you at the conference. Rita, did we want to give away some conference tickets before we go on here? Do we have any conference tickets?
Yeah, I think we can. I think we can do that. If you're interested in a conference pass or a day pass, by all means, drop me a comment there in the chat, and I'll pick the first person that.
How about no?
Oh, not like that. Okay.
No. So how about we do a competition, right? So the investment part is done. You guys, if you'd like to invest with us, yes, you've got the link there. But now I want to ask the question to you in terms of the conference that's coming up. Do you know the conference that's coming up? If you do know, I'd like you to give me at least one speaker that you know of that is going to be talking at the conference in the chat, right? Wherever you are, we're going to check also on the investments. Nomalanga says TJ is going to speak. No, I'm not going to speak. No. Sorry.
Lebepe.
Okay, Mr. Lebepe, Lihle, awesome stuff, right? How many? The StepUP conference, yes, that's it. Rita is she's going to speak. Set, yes, awesome stuff. So have you registered? Actually, that's the question that I want to ask. Who of you have registered yet, right? So if you have registered, say yes. If you haven't, say no, right? If you have registered, say yes, right? Who of you has registered? Okay, I'm getting a yes, no. Okay, fine, we're going fast now. Yeah. Okay, great. So the people, Rita, that said, pick one person, Rita, from the people that gave in a different name from anyone who's in the N5 team, right? And we can give them a day pass. How do they, are you going to mention them here? Those that
yeah, we can do that. I think so. So I've got Ramatlai that said Mr. Lebepe.
Okay, good stuff. So she's gonna get it. Well, now I'm saying she, and I have no idea whether it's a she or male. So you have won. Yay! You have won a day pass into the conference that's coming up, and you'll be getting through your. She needs to send you. Can you send a private? Can you send a private message to Rita with your email address, please? That's number one.
And then Forge that said Lihle, and Laratu that said Lihle.
Okay.
So and then we have another Lihle from Jack and Nguni.
Okay. So pick two more there.
Safiso that said Muzi.
Right. Muzi. So let's pick that one for Muzi. So let's give away another ticket for that one. But we've got a big ticket, right, that we want to give away, which is the 697, which is the conference pass itself, right? Which is the conference pass itself.
Let me see if there's anybody on Facebook commenting, and we can pick someone from there as well.
Right. But I want to ask the people that haven't registered, why haven't you registered yet? That's the question that I want to ask. And if anyone gives me a good reason, I might just be able to give away another ticket. I'm feeling generous today. Uncle TJ is feeling generous today. Yeah, he's giving out some prizes. Yeah. Tell me a good reason why you haven't registered yet. Good reason. What is your good reason? I am waiting in here And first time I'm hearing about this conference. Okay, all right. Having issues with payments from abroad. Kevin, okay. We are international. We even Bitcoin, eh? Hey, Rita.
Hey, campaign Bitcoin.
Having issues with payments, you said, please send me a link so I can register. So Rita, let's send the guys a link on here for the conference so that you can register. I urge you guys. Lerato says I need to inquire more on the VIP around 2 courses that you can and over and above. So what I'd like to do, guys, is that on the conference, right? You can attend. All of you guys that are in here, there is no reason why you shouldn't be getting the VIP ticket. So you need to get the VIP tickets. Yes, it's 1,997, but not only are you getting access to the guest speakers, all of them, right? That's number one. Number two, you are also going to get everything that is in the M5 Property Varsity. You're going to get access to that. Number three, you are also going to come through. We're going to have what is called an M5 experience. So M5 experience, we will come through to 1 or 2 of our buildings and we'll show you how we have done those deals. You can ask questions and things like that. So it's a hangout that we're going to have for a full day that we're going to do. The fourth thing, for some of you, you have never seen, I've got a book that's called M5. The book is called the M5. Well, it's called From Bad Debt to Property Mogul. You are also going to get that book. So that is really some great value for 1,997. So I am hoping that you're going to do that. Rita, can you pick one person that we can give a 697 course? Maybe Kevin here. Kevin, he says from overseas, so he's been having some issues. So let's give him that, the 697. Kevin, can you send a private email, please? Can you send a private message to Rita and on your email address, please? Right. Rita, I was thinking that, you know, we're going to have someone who's going to say, I can't afford this. This is why I didn't pay. And those are the people that I wanted to really, you know, give the tickets. I don't see them.
Yeah, guys, come on. If you can pay, you have to be there. There's also a free option, but if you can pay, you're going to get so much value. You're going to have access to the speakers backstage. You're going to ask them questions. You're going to interact with them in person. Well, not in person, but in person on Zoom. And we have a really, really amazing backstage plan for everybody that's going to come through for their backstage access. But if you can't afford it, I'm sorry, it's not an excuse. Then you know what? There's a free ticket. You can attend on the free ticket, and you can come and learn with everybody, and you can actually make money and have money by learning and investing time in yourself. You don't even need money. You're just investing time in yourself. And if you can't even make time for yourself, nobody else is going to make time for you. Only you can invest in yourself. And think hard about that and attend, make the time, attend and come and learn for free. And if you want to have that backstage access to the speakers, then it's a very small amount to pay to come and meet that specific person that can make a difference in your life.
Awesome stuff. Rita, thanks a lot. And thanks for everyone else who has joined us. Can I throw in the last ticket? We can give that one to Sifiso Vilakazi. And Sifiso, please do send a private message to Rita on here with your email address. And we are going to close off now. But remember, this was all around the investment. So there is a link, copy that link, right? And make your application. I did say, I'm looking for a minimum of 100,000 from you. So in here alone, in the room, we was about 40 to 50 of us in the room, right? On Facebook, there's quite a few other people. If all of us were contributing 100,000 into the fund, we can do amazing stuff. And by the time that COVID finishes off and we are out and about, we are going to be enjoying what we are calling the show and tell. God bless. We'll be seeing you later. Bye-bye.
Takura, you've been in my circle for a while, and you've now investing with us. And what gave you the leap of faith to invest with us?
Basically, I saw the work that you guys do. I really have faith in it. I'm here to make money. I think you are a proven, tried and tested method. I watch all your YouTube videos, some very insightful content. In the journey that you're on right now. And I like your strategy, and so I invested.
Cool. Too many more.
Sure.
You've been investing with us for a while.
Yeah.
And the first time round, I think it's about 2 years now?
Yeah, 2 years.
Okay. And the first time round when you invested with us, what gave you the leap of faith of investing with us?
I think I had just gotten tired of looking and postponing, and because I just didn't have the time to find properties myself, when I came across you guys, I thought I'm making more money with you than trying to manage a tenant and getting like a fraction of what I was getting with you, so it made sense.
And how do you enjoy that money that comes through?
Yes, on the 10th, yes.
Right.
Every morning on the 10th, my WhatsApp is there and it's already in my bank account. So I think it's also very comforting that it's never late. So you know you can trust the people that are behind the money.
Awesome stuff. So Dimitri, you've been investing with us now for what? 2 to 3 years?
2 years, 18 months about.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And the first time round when you started investing with us, what gave you the leap of faith to invest with us?
It's just a trust and relationship. You either have it from the, for me personally, it was just that connection from the first time we met. So for me, it was the trust, the relationship, and just seeing what happens, what you guys are, what your sort of motivator and drive is towards, to get property investments and to add value and stuff like that. So that was my take on it. It's, I'm always connect with people from, so automatically for me that, just made sense. And the relationship, we connected from the first time. So, so for me, I think it's, you got to connect with someone first and foremost, because if the connection's not there, it's no matter what they do.
Sure.
And then that naturally followed, what you guys are doing. So
100%. And you've been enjoying your proceeds?
No, absolutely. It's there's no two words about it. Comes when it comes, no matter what happens. There's communication. During COVID, there was communication, what you guys were going through. So I think that's all you really want. That's all you really want.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Thank you, man. Yeah, thanks for investing with us.
Thanks.
And
thanks for the opportunity.
Sure. What gave you the leap of faith to invest in us?
Firstly, your team. When I looked at your team, because I started knowing you guys earlier this year, around I think it was just before lockdown.
Sure.
Now, when I looked at your team, each of the members, like in your team, they are quite credible. Besides you yourself, of course, being the SA Investor of the Year last year.
Sure.
Because the StepUP team, anything that they credit must be trustworthy, because the StepUP team themselves are quite a credible team.
Awesome.
Yes, man.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
So Hesho, you've been investing with us.
Yeah.
What made you take the leap of faith to invest with us?
So TJ, I think for me it was the fact that I've been following you for some time. We've came through the same education system, proper investment, and I've seen what you've done, and I think for me it was sort of an easy decision, to invest with you and to build a partnership with you and to create a legacy for ourselves and our family and creating accommodation for people.
Cool.
Yeah.
Too many more.
Like,
Thank you.